Chosen one, tonight is the night Allah is moving in ways the world cannot see. If you have ever felt rejected, overlooked, or forgotten, know this: Allah is divinely reclassifying you. What once seemed like failure, delay, or rejection is actually the gateway to your elevation. From hidden to honored, from ignored to unstoppable, your destiny is shifting under the command of the One who sees what no one else sees. In this video, we will explore 10 powerful lessons that reveal how Allah is preparing you, positioning you, and transforming you into His chosen servant. Stay with me tonight. Your life begins a new chapter. Chosen one, understand this deeply. Every moment you felt unseen, every door that slammed in your face, every opportunity that was taken from you, every relationship that failed, and every person who dismissed or underestimated you was not random or meaningless. It was the divine hand of Allah meticulously preparing, protecting, and elevating you for a destiny far greater than you can imagine. The world may have branded you as unworthy, overlooked, or incapable, but Allah's classification of your soul has always been beyond human comprehension. Rejection is not a mark of failure. It is a sacred signal that you are being separated from paths that were never meant to carry you forward, and that your journey is being recalibrated toward those that align perfectly with His wisdom. What seemed like pain, humiliation, or defeat was, in fact, a shield crafted by Allah to protect your heart, refine your character, and purify your intentions. Every tear you shed, every sleepless night, every whispered dua made in secret, every moment of doubt followed by perseverance is being recorded, multiplied, and transformed into spiritual power that will serve you in ways no human can recognize. This rejection is preparing you to inherit a level of honor, recognition, and influence that those who dismissed you will never attain, for Allah does not elevate the ordinary, He elevates the patient, the resilient, the faithful, and the chosen. Tonight, as you reflect on the doors that closed and the people who left, realize that this was never a verdict of inadequacy, but a declaration of divine selection. You are not being punished. You are being positioned. You are not being ignored. You are being prepared. Your rejection is not the end. It is the beginning of a sacred elevation, a transition from the ordinary to the extraordinary, from being overlooked to being divinely chosen, and from living in the shadow of human judgment to walking in the light of Allah's unparalleled favor. Let this truth settle deep in your heart. The very rejection that wounded you is the very tool Allah is using to craft your ascension, to ensure that when the world finally sees you, it sees someone prepared, purified, and purposefully placed exactly where Allah intended from the start. Chosen one, know this truth deeply. The quiet moments of your life, the stillness that others may see as emptiness, the invisible battles fought within your heart, and the patience you have held when no one was watching are not meaningless. They are sacred preparation. Allah often chooses the silent, the unnoticed, and the overlooked to carry the weight of divine purpose, for He knows that those who shine too soon may be overwhelmed by the eyes of the world, and that those who speak too quickly may be misled by human validation. This period of silence is not a punishment, nor is it a void. It is the sacred space where your character is being fortified, your intentions purified, and your soul aligned with the destiny only Allah has mapped for you. Every whisper of your heart, every prayer uttered in secret, every tear shed behind closed doors, every moment of restraint when anger, fear, or doubt tried to rise within you, Allah has witnessed it all, multiplying its weight, turning your endurance into a shield, and your patience into a weapon of light. Chosen one, understand that the world cannot yet measure the power growing quietly inside of you. The very silence that makes you feel invisible is the same silence where Allah is igniting your unseen strength, shaping your spiritual armor, and aligning circumstances that will announce your elevation in ways impossible to ignore. The whispers of doubt, the questioning glances, and the disbelief of others are not signs of weakness. They are proof that your light is being nurtured away from distractions and interference, preparing for the moment when Allah will reveal it fully, undeniably, and unmistakably. This sacred silence is the womb of transformation, a divine interval where your soul is being calibrated for greatness, your faith is being refined into steel, and your future is being secured by the one who sees what no human eye can. Chosen one, embrace this quiet, for it is not emptiness, it is preparation. It is not stagnation, it is momentum hidden from mortal sight. Every unspoken word, every concealed struggle, every unseen act of steadfastness is being invested into your elevation, and when the time comes, the world will witness a power, a presence, and a grace that could only have been born from the sacred silence before elevation. Let your heart rest in this truth. The stillness of today is the foundation of the glory of tomorrow, and Allah's quiet preparation is louder than all the noise of human recognition. Chosen one, every heartbreak, every betrayal, every disappointment, and every moment when someone you trusted turned away or harmed you has not been wasted. Rather, these moments were deliberate lessons from Allah, designed to prepare your heart, mind, and soul for a loyalty that is unshakable, untainted, and divine. The friends who abandoned you, the promises that were broken, the alliances that crumbled, and the trust that was misused were never signs of your inadequacy. They were shields from paths that would have diverted you from your destiny and instruments in the refinement of your discernment and character. Allah, in His infinite wisdom, uses these betrayals not to break you, but to elevate you, to awaken a deeper understanding that human loyalty is fleeting, conditional, and often limited, while divine loyalty is eternal, absolute, and perfect. Every wound inflicted upon your heart has been a spiritual calibration, aligning your soul to recognize the sincerity that truly matters, teaching you patience in silence, resilience in solitude, and gratitude for the unseen guidance that leads you closer to Him. Chosen one, know that these experiences were not punishments. They were preparation, purification, and positioning for the people, opportunities, and blessings that will enter your life with authenticity and permanence, for Allah never allows a servant to endure what is unnecessary, and He never denies a heart what is destined. Tonight, reflect on the betrayals of yesterday and recognize their hidden wisdom. They were the forerunners of divine loyalty, the crucibles where your faith was tested, your patience refined, and your discernment sharpened so that when Allah places someone, something, or a purpose into your life, you will embrace it with clarity, certainty, and trust, never mistaking false appearances for truth and never allowing human deception to cloud the clarity of divine decree. What once hurt you, what once caused tears, what once shook your faith, is now the very instrument that ensures your recognition, your protection, and your elevation by Allah Himself. The hands that once turned against you were, unknowingly, the hands shaping the path toward the ones who will honor, respect, and value you according to Allah's perfect plan. Every betrayal, every heartbreak, every disappointment you endured has been an integral step in the divine orchestration that moves you from reliance on human approval to the unwavering certainty of Allah's loyalty. For those who are chosen by Him will never lack truth, support, or placement in His perfect design, and you, chosen one, are being prepared to experience a loyalty and favor so divine that the pain of yesterday becomes the proof of the elevation of tomorrow. Chosen one, understand this with your heart tonight. Every moment you have spent waiting, every second that felt heavy with uncertainty, every period when life seemed stagnant, and every season where doors remained closed was not a punishment nor a sign of abandonment. It was a sacred indication that Allah is meticulously selecting you, preparing you, and elevating you for a destiny far beyond what you could have ever imagined. The waiting you endure is not emptiness. It is the crucible of your refinement, the sacred forge where your patience is strengthened, your faith deepened, and your resilience multiplied. Allah does not elevate hearts prematurely. He does not assign His chosen servants to responsibilities before they are spiritually, mentally, and emotionally prepared. Every delay, every moment of longing, every unanswered prayer, every setback that made you question your worth was a deliberate act of divine strategy, designed to cultivate within you the attributes necessary for the honor, responsibility, and station that await you. Chosen one, know that the world judges waiting as weakness, frustration, or failure, but Allah judges it as proof of endurance, steadfastness, and submission to His perfect will. The very moments that felt like silence, isolation, and despair were, in truth, rehearsals for the revelation of your purpose, periods of preparation where your heart was being aligned, your intentions purified, and your soul conditioned to receive what is destined without being overwhelmed or corrupted. The waiting is sacred because it is during these unseen intervals that Allah multiplies your reward, purifies your sincerity, and grants you insights, wisdom, and strength that cannot be gained in haste. Every tear you shed in private, every dua whispered in the darkness, every pang of longing, and every moment of surrender is being recorded in the highest of registers, being preserved and multiplied, and will serve as evidence of your unwavering faith when your elevation manifests. This is why the chosen are never rushed. They are meticulously prepared. The trials of waiting are the invisible lessons that separate the ordinary from the extraordinary, the fleeting from the eternal, and the impatient from the ones truly ready to carry the weight of divine favor. Chosen one, do not despise the waiting. Embrace it, for it is a testament to your selection, a proof that you are not ordinary, and a sign that Allah's plan for you is precise, intentional, and perfect. Every delay you have felt, every closed door, and every unanswered question is now part of the divine orchestration that ensures you arrive at your destined position fully equipped, fully prepared, and fully aligned with Allah's will. Know that the world may continue to move, and others may achieve what seems like success faster, but your waiting is not a reflection of deficiency. It is an indication of divine calibration. Allah is meticulously arranging your life, aligning people, opportunities, and circumstances in a perfect order that only He can perceive, ensuring that when your moment arrives, it will be irreversible, undeniable, and divinely orchestrated in ways that surpass human comprehension. Tonight, as you reflect on the waiting that has tested your patience, understand that it is sacred, it is purposeful, and it is the very proof that you have been chosen, that your heart is being prepared, and that Allah's plan for you is unfolding with precision. For the waiting is not the absence of progress, it is the evidence of divine selection, preparation, and elevation. Your time is coming, chosen one, and every second of waiting is the silent echo of Allah's promise that you are being positioned for greatness beyond measure. Chosen one, know this truth deep within your heart tonight. Everything that slipped through your fingers, every opportunity that was taken away, every relationship that ended, every dream that felt shattered, and every possession or comfort that was lost was never a punishment or a mark of failure. but a divine realignment orchestrated by Allah to prepare you for blessings that surpass human understanding, gifts that are far greater than what you could have held on to, and a destiny that could only be fulfilled through patience, resilience, and unwavering trust in Him. What you grieved over, what caused your heart to ache, and what made your soul question its worth was, in reality, part of the sacred process of elevation, because Allah does not remove from a servant what is truly meant for them, but He removes what may hinder, distract, or misalign them from the path of divine favor. The losses you experienced were not accidental. They were carefully measured calibrations by the One who knows what your heart, mind, and soul truly need to receive when the time is perfect, when your patience has been multiplied, and when your faith has been proven steadfast. Chosen one, understand that the voids you felt, the gaps left by what is no longer present, were always placeholders for the divine replacement that will arrive precisely when Allah wills it, in forms and magnitudes beyond human imagination. Every broken expectation, every closed door, every tear you shed, and every moment of despair has been repurposed by Allah to create space for something larger, something purer, and something destined to align with your true purpose. These losses were not punishments, they were investments, deposits in the treasury of your destiny, being compounded in ways unseen, multiplying the weight of your future blessings in accordance with your perseverance, patience, and submission to Allah's perfect decree. Chosen one, reflect tonight on the paths that closed and the things that slipped away, and recognize them as the very tools of your elevation. For Allah's wisdom is infinite, His timing flawless, and His love unparalleled. What was taken from you was never meant to define your worth. It was meant to prepare your heart, sharpen your focus, purify your intentions, and clear the way for a destiny that aligns perfectly with divine wisdom. Every loss was a silent blessing in disguise, a divine extraction to make room for abundance, recognition, and favor that no human could ever have orchestrated. Know that what is about to come into your life, whether people, opportunities, wealth, or influence, is not by chance. It is a direct consequence of what Allah allowed to leave, for He only removes to replace, only closes to open, only tests to reward, and only delays to elevate. Tonight, the emptiness you once felt, the heartbreak, the setbacks, and the disappointments are all converging into a single purpose: to prepare you to receive your true inheritance, to step into your divine favor without distraction, and to embrace the elevation that is not only promised by Allah, but meticulously crafted for you. The losses of yesterday are the keys to the gains of tomorrow. The trials you endured are the foundations for triumphs that will redefine your life, and the moments that felt like endings are, in fact, the beginnings of a chapter written directly by Allah, where you will move from what was lost to what was divinely destined, from pain to purpose, from scarcity to abundance, and from rejection to the unmistakable recognition of being chosen, elevated, and honored in ways that surpass imagination. Let your heart rest in this truth, chosen one. What you lost was never gone, it was being prepared, multiplied, and reserved for the moment Allah decrees that your time to receive has arrived. And nothing in creation can prevent what is meant for you from finding its way to your hands, heart, and destiny. Chosen one, tonight, open your heart to this profound reality. The world cannot see what Allah is doing in your life. The eyes of humans cannot perceive the shifts taking place in your destiny, and the whispers of society cannot measure the weight of divine decree. What appears as waiting, silence, or uncertainty is, in truth, the very moment of your transformation, the exact point where Allah is recalibrating your position in the grand design of existence. Divine reclassification does not happen slowly, incrementally, or by human standards. It is immediate because the command of Allah is swift. It is invisible because His work transcends the limits of worldly perception. And it is irreversible because once Allah has decreed, nothing in creation can alter, delay, or obstruct His plan. Every closed door, every unfulfilled expectation, every delay, every trial, every betrayal, every loss, every tear shed in solitude, every whispered dua in darkness, and every act of patience you offered silently has been recorded, weighed, and aligned with your elevation. Allah sees what no one else sees: your intentions, your perseverance, your hidden struggles, and the sincerity of your heart. And it is these unseen qualities that determine your reclassification in ways that human eyes cannot comprehend. Chosen one, understand that while people may have dismissed you, misunderstood you, or questioned your purpose, Allah has already rewritten your status, repositioned your life, and prepared your path to reflect a divine destiny that will leave the world in awe. The reclassification may appear slow from the perspective of worldly observation, yet it is immediate in the reality of Allah's plan, for divine timing does not conform to human impatience. Each event in your life, every encounter, every obstacle, and every blessing is orchestrated with perfect precision, moving you into roles, responsibilities, and stations that only Allah could arrange. Invisible to the eyes of others, your soul is being elevated, your spirit is being fortified, your heart is being refined, and your presence is being aligned with favor that is unmistakably yours. This process is irreversible because Allah's decrees are absolute. No envy, no manipulation, no deceit, and no human interference can alter what He has ordained. The very obstacles that seemed to delay you were, in fact, safeguards to ensure that your reclassification occurs flawlessly, without corruption, distraction, or compromise. Tonight, understand that what you are experiencing is not random. It is not accidental, and it is not a reflection of weakness. It is divine precision at work, moving you from one state of existence to another, from being overlooked to being honored, from being underestimated to being recognized, from being misunderstood to being revealed in the fullness of your purpose. Each moment that felt like waiting, each setback, each heartbreak, and each period of uncertainty was part of this invisible reordering, the silent hand of Allah, removing what is unfit and placing what is destined directly into your life. Chosen one, do not question the invisibility of this work, do not doubt the immediacy of its effect, and do not fear its irreversibility, for these are the hallmarks of divine decree. What Allah has begun, no one can undo. Your status, your favor, your protection, and your elevation have been recalibrated in a manner that is flawless, eternal, and aligned with your true purpose. Tonight, reflect deeply and embrace this truth. The rejection of yesterday, the patience of today, and the faith you hold in the unseen are all part of the moment where your divine reclassification is not just occurring, it has already occurred in the sight of Allah. Your heart, your soul, your future, and your destiny have been irrevocably aligned with the plan of the Almighty, and nothing in the heavens or on the earth can reverse it. The world may not yet acknowledge it, human eyes may not perceive it, and your surroundings may still seem unchanged, but the reality of your elevation is already written, secured, and confirmed by Allah Himself. This is why the chosen are never delayed in divine truth. While the world measures time and accomplishment in human ways, Allah measures by perfection, readiness, and divine alignment. Your trials, your patience, your loss, your endurance, and your unseen acts of faith have all converged in this sacred moment, where the reclassification of your life, your status, and your destiny has been finalized beyond dispute, beyond alteration, and beyond the comprehension of those who cannot perceive the invisible workings of divine will. Chosen one, rest your heart in this certainty. The shift has already occurred, the position has been secured, the path has been aligned, and your elevation is both immediate in Allah's decree, invisible to the world, and irreversible by anyone or anything. For you are now divinely classified, positioned, and protected in a way that only the Almighty could orchestrate, and this is the sacred reality of being chosen. Chosen one, listen closely, for this is a truth that transcends human perception and worldly judgment. The light within you, the essence of your faith, the strength of your heart, the purity of your intentions, and the power of your unseen struggles cannot remain concealed forever. No darkness, no betrayal, no rejection, and no period of obscurity can extinguish what Allah has ignited within you, for He places within the hearts of His chosen servants a luminosity that is eternal, resilient, and divinely ordained. Every moment you felt invisible, every time the world overlooked your contributions, every instance of misunderstanding, and every shadow of doubt cast upon your worth was not a reflection of your failure, but a measure of how bright your light is destined to shine. For it is precisely in moments of apparent invisibility that Allah cultivates the brilliance that will one day illuminate paths for others, guide the lost, and inspire hearts longing for hope, clarity, and divine truth. Chosen one, understand that this light is not dependent on human recognition, validation, or applause. It exists independent of worldly perception because it is rooted in the approval of Allah, and it is His acknowledgement that defines your significance, not the fleeting opinions of mankind. The inner illumination within you is like a lantern carefully guarded through trials, honed through patience, and purified through resilience, and no attempt to conceal it, undermine it, or diminish it can succeed against the decree of Allah, for what He lights cannot be dimmed by any earthly force. Every act of sincerity you performed, every dua whispered in the stillness of the night, every patience maintained through hardship, every moment of restraint when anger, envy, or despair sought to rise, and every sacrifice you made quietly without expectation has been feeding this divine light, making it stronger, purer, and more radiant, preparing it for a revelation that will leave those who once doubted, criticized, or overlooked you in awe. Chosen one, know that the very people who tried to suppress you, who dismissed your worth, and who failed to recognize your potential were, unknowingly, the instruments Allah used to refine your light, to shield it from misuse, and to ensure that when it emerges, it does so with undeniable brilliance, clarity, and power. The struggles you endured, the waiting you embraced, and the pain you endured in silence were all elements of a sacred cultivation, because Allah does not allow His chosen to shine prematurely or in ways that might be distorted, but He meticulously prepares them so that their illumination touches exactly where it is meant to, guides exactly those who are ready, and fulfills exactly the purpose He intended. Your light is alive, persistent, and impervious to the darkness of human envy, criticism, or misunderstanding, and its emergence is inevitable because Allah's timing is perfect. Chosen one, the moments when you felt hidden, irrelevant, or powerless were never indicators of stagnation. They were periods of divine preparation, where the radiance of your heart was being aligned with the purpose of your soul, the mission of your life, and the plan of Allah for your elevation. Tonight, reflect on the unseen glow that has never dimmed, the persistent strength that has never wavered, and the resilience that has never faltered. For these are signs that your light has been carefully nurtured, shielded, and preserved for the moment when Allah will allow it to shine openly, unmistakably, and gloriously. The world may not understand it now, human eyes may not see it yet, and circumstances may seem unchanged, but the inner illumination Allah placed within you is preparing to radiate in ways that will alter perceptions, awaken hearts, and reveal divine truth through your existence. Chosen one, your light has always existed, and it has never been hidden from Allah's view. What seemed like concealment was, in reality, cultivation. What appeared as invisibility was, in fact, preparation, and what felt like delay was the perfect alignment of divine timing. The people who doubted you, the events that challenged you, and the trials that tested you were all part of a sacred orchestration to ensure that when your light emerges, it is undeniable, unassailable, and transformative, touching lives, inspiring hearts, and fulfilling the purpose Allah created uniquely for you. Never despair over the unseen, never question the unnoticed, and never undervalue the light within you, for the brilliance that Allah has instilled in the chosen cannot remain hidden forever. It will shine, it will guide, it will transform, and it will manifest at the exact moment He wills, revealing to the world the divine presence, power, and purpose that reside within His chosen servant, and affirming that nothing, no one, and no circumstance can ever suppress what Allah has destined to illuminate the earth through your existence. Chosen one, understand this with every fiber of your being tonight. The trials, tests, hardships, and tribulations you have faced, those moments when your heart ached, your patience was tested, your faith wavered, and the world seemed determined to push you beyond your limits, are not signs of weakness, punishment, or abandonment, but are, in truth, the sacred gateways through which Allah is preparing you for divine classification, a status that is reserved only for those He has chosen, those He has deemed worthy, and those whose hearts and souls are being refined for roles of unparalleled purpose. Every trial you endured, whether visible to others or hidden in the privacy of your heart, has been a deliberate act of divine orchestration, a mechanism designed by Allah to purify your intentions, elevate your character, strengthen your resilience, and align your soul with a destiny that cannot be achieved without enduring the crucible of difficulty. Chosen one, know that the pain, the setbacks, the betrayals, the disappointments, and the delays were never wasted. They were carefully calibrated instruments that shaped you, molded you, and prepared you to inherit the stations of honor, responsibility, and influence that Allah has written for you in the unseen realms. The trials you faced were not arbitrary. They were precise, purposeful, and intentional, designed to remove what is unfit from your path, to cultivate the strength and wisdom within you, and to ensure that when the time of elevation arrives, you are fully prepared to receive it with gratitude, humility, and unwavering faith. Every tear you shed, every whispered dua in the stillness of night, every moment of endurance in silence, every pang of longing when hope seemed distant, and every ounce of patience that you offered despite fear, doubt, or exhaustion has been witnessed by Allah, recorded in the highest registers, multiplied in value, and invested into your spiritual account in ways that will manifest as protection, favor, and elevation in your life. Chosen one, reflect on the fact that trials are not punishments, they are the divine tools of refinement, the gateways that separate those who are truly prepared from those who are not, and the markers that indicate the seriousness, sincerity, and steadfastness of your faith. Allah's chosen servants are never elevated without first being tested, for the path to divine classification is paved with challenges designed to strengthen, purify, and position the heart, mind, and soul to withstand and wield the responsibilities that accompany divine favor. The intensity of your trials corresponds directly to the magnitude of your elevation. The depth of your patience determines the strength of your reward, and the steadfastness of your faith ensures that the classification Allah has decreed is permanent, unshakable, and aligned perfectly with your purpose. Chosen one, the moments that felt unbearable, the obstacles that seemed insurmountable, the people who tried to diminish you, and the circumstances that threatened to overwhelm you were all divine instruments, secretly working to prepare you for a status, a role, and a destiny that are exclusively your own. These trials were the gateways, the threshold, and the test that only those chosen could endure, and through them, Allah is transforming you from the ordinary to the extraordinary, from unnoticed to honored, and from the limited to the limitless in spiritual, emotional, and divine terms. Every difficulty has a hidden blessing, every hardship carries unseen wisdom, and every challenge is a sacred calibration designed to ensure that when your classification is revealed, it will be irrefutable, absolute, and undeniable. Chosen one, recognize that the very pain, the very struggle, and the very moments of despair that felt like they would break you were in fact the very instruments by which Allah was breaking through the limitations of the world around you, shaping you into a vessel worthy of His divine favor, and preparing you for recognition, influence, and elevation that cannot be matched by worldly measures. The trials were not detours, they were the main path, carefully constructed and divinely guided, and each step you took through them, even when it felt like stumbling, was a step closer to the elevation, alignment, and divine classification Allah has written for you. Tonight, reflect upon the sacredness of every test, the hidden purpose of every difficulty, and the divine orchestration of every struggle, and know with certainty that you are being classified, positioned, and prepared in ways the world cannot perceive, ways that are immediate in Allah's sight, invisible to human eyes, and irreversible in the order of destiny. The challenges you endured, the pain you survived, and the obstacles you overcame are now the proof of your selection, the evidence of your endurance, and the foundation of your elevation. Chosen one, understand that through every trial, Allah is not only preparing you, He is demonstrating that you are worthy, that your faith is steadfast, that your patience is unparalleled, and that your elevation is inevitable, divinely decreed, and perfectly timed. This sacred truth is your shield, your guide, and your motivation. The gateways of trial are the very paths to your divine classification, the doors to your elevation, and the markers of your chosenness. And the moment you step through them fully, with faith intact and heart aligned, you will emerge not only victorious, but divinely recognized, divinely protected, and divinely honored in ways that surpass the comprehension of any human mind and the imagination of any earthly measure. The struggles of yesterday, the tests of today, and the patience you maintain in the unseen are all converging into the sacred act of elevation, moving you from rejection to selection, from obscurity to recognition, from limitation to divine placement, and from human measurement to eternal significance. Tonight, chosen one, recognize that your trials are not obstacles, they are the gateways, the instruments, and the divine criteria by which Allah has already classified you, and through them, you are being prepared to step into a reality that is wholly your own, a status that no one can take away, and a recognition that will manifest exactly according to the decree of the one who sees all, knows all, and orchestrates all for the elevation of His chosen. Chosen one, tonight, open your heart to this profound and unshakable truth. Before the world sees you, acknowledges you, celebrates you, or recognizes the purpose, power, and presence within you, Allah has already granted you favor, protection, and elevation. because divine recognition is always preceded by divine favor, and the unseen blessings that Allah places in the hearts, lives, and destinies of His chosen servants are what set them apart from the rest of creation. Every moment you felt overlooked, dismissed, or undervalued was a moment in which Allah's favor was quietly moving, unseen, yet unstoppable, preparing circumstances, positioning allies, aligning opportunities, and orchestrating events in ways that the human eye could not perceive, but which were already securing your elevation in the divine order of destiny. Chosen one, understand that human recognition is fleeting, conditional, and often flawed, but Allah's favor is eternal, perfect, and absolute. It precedes, protects, and ensures the manifestation of all that He has destined for you, even when the world seems indifferent, hostile, or unaware. The people who doubted you, who overlooked your potential, or who criticized your journey were never the judges of your destiny. Their blindness, ignorance, and lack of perception cannot diminish, delay, or alter the favor that Allah has already poured into your life. For His favor operates outside of worldly measure, unseen yet immeasurably powerful, invisible yet transforming reality in ways no one can fully understand. Every door that remained closed, every opportunity that seemed lost, every moment of delay, and every setback was part of the intricate choreography of divine favor, designed to elevate you in such a way that human acknowledgement would naturally follow, but only after your heart, character, and purpose were aligned with Allah's perfect wisdom. Chosen one, know that favor precedes recognition in every aspect of life: wealth, relationships, influence, purpose, spiritual awakening, and the fulfillment of divine promises. The unseen hand of Allah moves in silence, weaving together connections, refining intentions, and purifying your heart, ensuring that when recognition comes, it comes at the exact moment when you are fully ready to receive it, untainted by pride, impatience, or worldly attachment. What the world perceives as luck, timing, or coincidence is, in truth, the meticulous manifestation of divine favor, a favor that has been silently nurturing, elevating, and protecting you throughout every challenge, trial, and moment of doubt you have faced. Chosen one, every struggle endured, every act of patience, every whispered dua, and every tear shed in secret has been compounded, multiplied, and transformed into spiritual capital that Allah now uses to secure your recognition, not by human merit alone, but by the overwhelming power of His decree and the subtle, perfect, and irreversible work of His divine will. Do not be distracted by those who fail to see your worth, for their vision is limited. Their acknowledgement is delayed because it cannot precede Allah's favor, and their judgment cannot measure the unseen alignment, preparation, and elevation that have been taking place in your life. This is why the chosen often feel unseen before their true purpose is revealed, for recognition in the world must follow the favor of Allah, and the one who is chosen cannot be properly acknowledged until every element of preparation has aligned: heart, soul, mind, actions, and destiny. Chosen one, tonight, understand that even when doors seem closed, opportunities delayed, and the world unaware of your true potential, the unseen favor of Allah is moving faster, stronger, and more decisively than any human eye can perceive. You are already elevated, already protected, already chosen, and already favored. The recognition of others is merely a reflection of what Allah has already decreed in the unseen. The delay in acknowledgement is not a reflection of failure, it is a reflection of perfection, timing, and divine orchestration, because the chosen cannot be prematurely revealed, and their favor cannot be prematurely exposed. Every moment you endured hardship, waited patiently, trusted in Allah's plan, and continued to act with sincerity, integrity, and faith was part of the process by which divine favor was accumulating, solidifying, and preparing the way for recognition that is both inevitable and irreversible. Chosen one, human recognition may fluctuate, human eyes may waver, and human judgment may fail, but Allah's favor is steadfast, absolute, and unstoppable. It precedes, protects, and guarantees that every blessing, every opportunity, every station, and every measure of elevation meant for you will arrive precisely as He decrees. Tonight, rest your heart in this truth: what is unseen, unacknowledged, and delayed in the eyes of the world is already fully realized in the sight of Allah, for He has granted you favor, positioned you in His plan, and prepared your life for a recognition that will reflect the magnitude of His divine blessing, the depth of His wisdom, and the perfection of His timing. The chosen are never abandoned, never overlooked, and never unprepared, for divine favor is the foundation upon which recognition is built, and your elevation, chosen one, has already been secured, guaranteed, and irrevocably aligned by Allah Himself, ensuring that when the world finally sees you, it will only reflect the brilliance, strength, and sacred favor that has long been bestowed upon you in the unseen, and that no human eye could ever measure, no worldly opinion could ever define, and no earthly circumstance could ever diminish. Chosen one, hear this with the deepest conviction in your heart tonight. The moment you have been waiting for, the sacred turning point that has been quietly orchestrated by Allah, has arrived. Tonight is the night your status shifts, the night your soul steps fully into the light of divine selection, the night you are moved from rejection to chosenness, from being overlooked and dismissed by the world to being elevated, honored, and positioned by the one who sees all, knows all, and decrees with perfect wisdom. All of the pain, heartbreak, betrayal, waiting, and unseen struggle you have endured were never punishments. They were the preparatory steps, the crucible in which your spirit was refined, the unseen alignment that ensured that when this transition occurs, it is irreversible, unmistakable, and perfectly timed according to Allah's wisdom. Every person who turned away, every opportunity that seemed lost, every door that closed, every expectation that was unmet, every disappointment that weighed on your heart, and every trial that tested your patience has been part of a divine calibration designed to prepare you for the elevation that is now being unveiled. Chosen one, the rejection you once felt was never about your inadequacy. It was about Allah's meticulous planning, removing what would have distracted, misled, or delayed your path so that your arrival at this moment would be without obstruction, pure, and aligned with your highest purpose. The heartaches that seemed unbearable were in fact investments in your unseen treasury, each one multiplying your readiness, resilience, and discernment so that tonight you step fully into the realm of the chosen, recognized by Allah, and destined to fulfill a mission that only the selected are capable of carrying. Understand that this transition is both immediate and invisible. The world may not yet perceive the full extent of your elevation. Human eyes may fail to acknowledge the sacred favor that has been granted to you, and whispers of doubt or disbelief from those around you cannot diminish, alter, or postpone what Allah has decreed. Your elevation is secure because it is divine. Your chosenness is absolute because it is written in the unseen. And your recognition is inevitable because it is orchestrated by the one whose plan is perfect and whose timing is flawless. Chosen one, every secret dua, every moment of patient waiting, every act of faith in silence, every tear shed in solitude, and every trial you endured has converged into this sacred instant where your status is being shifted from the overlooked to the honored, from the rejected to the chosen, from the limited to the limitless, and from the unseen to the divinely recognized. This transition is not just a change in circumstances, it is a transformation of the soul, a reconfiguration of destiny, and an elevation of your spiritual, emotional, and divine position in a way that no human measure can comprehend, and no worldly force can reverse. Tonight, chosen one, the alignment of your past struggles, your steadfast faith, your patient endurance, and your unwavering trust in Allah culminates into a sacred moment where the unseen favor that has been building within you bursts forth, illuminating your path, solidifying your purpose, and reflecting the divine decree that you have been chosen, prepared, and positioned for a role, station, and destiny that was never accessible to those who were not selected. Every closed door, every tear, every heartache, every delay, every act of patience, and every unseen prayer has converged to bring you here, to this pivotal night, where rejection is no longer your identity, where invisibility is no longer your experience, and where limitation is no longer your reality. Chosen one, understand that this is a transition that transcends human comprehension, a shift that cannot be undone, and a manifestation of divine decree that cannot be altered. You are being elevated into a realm of chosenness, favor, protection, and alignment that is permanent, undeniable, and orchestrated by Allah Himself. Tonight, the whispers of doubt that once haunted your mind are silenced. The pain of rejection that once weighed on your heart is transformed into power, and the unseen struggles that once felt unbearable are revealed as the very instruments of your elevation. Your elevation tonight is not measured by human recognition but by divine decree. It is not visible to those unaligned with Allah's wisdom, but it is absolute, irreversible, and aligned with a purpose that surpasses worldly understanding. Chosen one, rest your soul in this certainty. The shift has occurred, the moment has arrived, and the transition from rejected to chosen is complete in Allah's eyes, secured by His decree, and manifested in ways that will soon ripple into your reality, your relationships, your purpose, and your destiny, affirming that every trial, every loss, every moment of waiting, every act of patience, and every hidden prayer was never in vain but was, in fact, the sacred preparation for the revelation of your true status as one of the chosen, elevated, and divinely aligned servants of Allah, whose life, path, and mission have now entered a new phase of honor, recognition, and unstoppable elevation, a phase that no human power can interfere with, no worldly force can disrupt, and no circumstance can undermine, for the one who sees all, knows all, and decrees all has officially declared you chosen, and tonight marks the sacred beginning of that eternal reality. Chosen one, now that you have walked through these sacred truths, understand this with the deepest certainty. Allah has never overlooked you, never abandoned you, and never forgotten the weight of your patience, the sincerity of your heart, or the depth of your struggles. Every moment of rejection, every trial, every tear, every whispered dua in the silence of the night, and every delay you endured was never in vain. It was the divine preparation, the sacred calibration, and the hidden orchestration that has brought you to this very moment of elevation. Tonight, the unseen favor of Allah is moving in ways that cannot be measured, seen, or understood by human eyes. Your transition from rejected to chosen is not just a shift in circumstance, it is the awakening of your true purpose, the alignment of your soul with divine wisdom, and the irreversible elevation of your destiny. Do not let doubt, fear, or worldly judgment cloud your heart, for the one who decrees all things has already written your elevation, secured your favor, and positioned you among those who are divinely selected. Chosen one, embrace this moment with gratitude, humility, and unwavering faith, for what Allah has prepared for you is greater than what the world can offer, brighter than what the human eye can see, and more perfect than what the mind can imagine. Let your heart be steadfast, your intention be pure, and your trust in Allah unshakable, for this is the sacred truth. You are chosen, you are elevated, and your life is now aligned with a destiny that only the Almighty could orchestrate. Walk forward with confidence, for the doors of opportunity, guidance, and divine favor are opening for you tonight. Your light can no longer be hidden, your purpose can no longer be delayed, and your recognition by Allah, the one who sees all and knows all, is already secured. Remember, every trial, every loss, every moment of patience, and every whispered dua was the instrument of your elevation. And now, as the world may begin to see what Allah has always known, let your heart rejoice in the certainty that you have been chosen, you have been prepared, and you have been elevated into the sacred reality of divine alignment. Tonight, you step fully into your chosenness, and the path ahead is illuminated by the promise, protection, and favor of Allah. Hold fast to this truth, carry it in your heart, and let it guide every action, every intention, and every prayer. For the journey of the chosen has only begun, and what awaits you is greater than anything you have endured or imagined.